Mr. Wade here and Mrs. Crime. She's back, you guys. She's over here looking at some headstones right now. We're out here way out in a cemetery. I'm not going to say the name. I'm going to post it right here as usual. But we're way out here to do a story on a lady. It's a murder story, of course, coming from Tombstone Whispers. I did my research, and I kind of find out it'd be an interesting story on a murderer, and he was on a murdering spree. He was known to have murdered at least 6 women. He always attacked elderly women. That was his thing. So stay tuned. Way out here, somewhere in Oregon, and I definitely will bring you guys a story. Stay tuned. So, the story is on a Miss Margaret Smith. She's an elderly lady, and we're out here to give respect to her. So let Mr. Wade find the grave. Come on, you guys. You know I'm always trying to find the grave. But let me find the grave. And I'm going to tell you guys a story. Excuse my voice here. Mr. Wade has a little cold here. But I'm bringing the story to you guys. You look behind me, you see Mrs. Crime back there. We're at this cemetery to give you guys a story. Once again, not a good story, a very unfortunate story. It's a story on murder. We're going to give everybody respect out here, and we're going to find Miss Margaret's headstone. Stay tuned. As we see, it's a very nice cemetery over here. It's very well kept. It's way out in Oregon. We drove for a good hour to get out here. And it's very well kept. We like well kept cemeteries. Who doesn't? But it's not big, and but it's a respectable place, right? So let's go find her grave. Stay tuned. Okay, let's break it down to you on what happened to Margaret Smith. Now, Margaret Smith, she was 61 years old at the time of death. Now, the murderer's name is Cesar Barone. Now, he did change his name. It used to be something else, and I will post that on here about he changed his name to Cesar Barone. Now, this guy was a sick individual, as I might say, from Mr. Wade's point of view. Mrs. Crime back there. So, he was known to have murdered at least 4 to 6 women in the Portland metro area in Oregon State. Now, what this guy was about was very twisted individual. Now, his thing was elderly women that he would seek and sought after, and he would do his thing and then murder them. It was always an elderly woman. Now, there was one young one that he actually tracked down. Now, this young female, what he did was he actually traveled behind her. She was on her way home. He shot rounds of fired rounds off into her vehicle, right? Made her stop, got into her vehicle, did what he did, drug her out of the car, and left her on Highway 26 after he shot her in the head point blank. That's what Cesar Barone did. Now with Margaret, he broke into her home and sexually assaulted her. Afterwards, he strangled her to death. So his thing was strangulation. Now the young one, that's the one he murdered. But we're here to see Miss Margaret. Now, back when this guy was 19 years old, he was blamed for a murder of an elderly lady across the street from his house. As a child at 19 years old, he was blamed for a murder back then. So things with this guy, repetitions, kept going. Now, one of the elderly ladies, he actually broke into her home and actually did the same thing to her. That's his MO. His method of operation is the elderly ladies. He tracked them down and do what he does, which is his rape, sodomize, strangulation, kill him. That's his thing. Now, one of the ladies, I'm going to post all the ladies' names that he had done this to in the Portland metro area. One of the ladies, he had actually took the lady, and when he was in the process of doing his dirt, right? She had a heart attack and died in the whole process, during the whole thing, before he even finished. Crazy. The man is off. Now I'm going to tell you another story of this. This guy here is Caesar Baroni, right? 1979, Ted Bundy gets caught and goes to prison. Why am I saying this about Ted Bundy? Because this guy was his cellie. He was his cellie. He was Ted Bundy's cellie. Exactly. Mrs. Crime right there. So it was Ted Bundy's cellie. So they probably traded stories, right? That's sick, but they traded stories, I bet you. Enough about this murderer guy. I get very amped up to talk about the story because it's a very twisted, sick individuals who do this, serial killers. This guy ended up getting 3 lifetime sentences in Oregon State Penitentiary, you know, and he deserved every bit of them 3 life sentences. Now we're here to give respect to Miss Margaret Smith. Mrs. Crime, of course, found Miss Margaret's grave. Mr. Wade had been looking all day, right? Think that's funny, right? But anyways, we got her grave. All respect to the graves out here. We're going to give Miss Margaret some respect. Stay tuned. So this is the grave of Margaret H. Smith. May 1929 to April 1991. Her life was taken under Caesar Baroni. Unfortunately, thing that happened to Margaret H. Smith. This is a grave of hers. All respect to her and her family and loved ones. A tombstone whispers respect to Margaret H. Smith. May 1929 to April 1991. I hope you guys enjoyed our unfortunate story, and just know to be aware out there what's going on. Understand that things like this does happen. I'm Mr. Wade and
Mrs. Crime.
She's finally back, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed our recent video of Halloween Town out in St. Helens. Thanks to all our subscribers out there. Remember, click that like button, and more Tombstone Whispers coming to you. Thank you.